Diffusion is the spreading of particles, and in this video for AQA GCSE Module B2 we're going to look at how it works and how it's used in living things. Now imagine you have some particles of a substance all concentrated in one area. This could be the particles of perfume in the corner of a room, or it could equally be the particles of oxygen concentrated in a red blood cell. But imagine you had those concentrated in one area, and over a period of time this is what happens. The particles spread away from where they were concentrated to where they are less concentrated. So we started off like this, and what we say is we have over here an area of higher concentration of the particles. So all the particles are very closely, tightly packed together, and over here we have an area of lower concentration. So what happens is, as we just saw, the particles move from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. We say there is a net movement and by net movement we mean an overall movement of particles from where they're in the higher concentration to the lower concentration. We can describe this as a concentration gradient, and particles move down the concentration gradient, and this can, as we said, this can happen in dissolved substances and also in gases. Now it's very important in living things that dissolved substances can diffuse, because if we look here, I've got an example of some cells, okay, and they are very close to a blood vessel. And in that blood vessels, in blue, I've drawn these particles of oxygen. So you can see inside the cells there are very few particles of oxygen, and in the blood it's actually within the red blood cells, but just for the sake of illustration I've drawn it in just spread about everywhere. But in the blood vessel we've got the particles of oxygen, and there's a much higher concentration. So we're going to see the particles moving down the concentration gradient, which is into the cells. Okay, and you can imagine this is very important because cells need oxygen, and so diffusion allows this process of oxygen moving from the blood vessel into the cells to happen.